Hi, my name is Brittany Partridge, and I'm an attorney at Butler Kahn Law Firm. I've been asked before, what is a subpoena? So today I'm going to briefly talk about what a subpoena is, how they're used, and show two examples of the main types of subpoenas that are used in our personal injury actions. So what is a subpoena? It is a document that is used in litigation to require a person to be present at a certain place or time. Now I know that's very vague, but we'll get into details later. A subpoena must be served properly according to Georgia law. There are three ways to serve a subpoena. You can do it by statutory overnight delivery, which is a fancy term for a overnight FedEx or overnight UPS. You can send it by certified or registered mail, which is through the United States Postal Service, or you can deliver a subpoena to somebody personally by using a process server, the sheriff, and sometimes even handing it to a person. Now, subpoenas can only be signed by certain people. A pro se or unrepresented person cannot sign a subpoena and issue it. A subpoena must be signed by an attorney of record, a clerk, a judge, or somebody in that judge's chamber. A pro se person cannot just simply sign a subpoena, serve it according to law, and mandate that a person be present at trial. That pro se person will be required to go to the clerk of courts or the judge and ask them to issue a subpoena on their behalf. Now, if you don't comply with a properly served subpoena, then there can be real consequences. A judge may find you in contempt, which could mean a fine or even jail time. Now, in personal injury actions, we use subpoenas sometimes at depositions, hearings, or trials. And we use these subpoenas in two different situations. One, when we require a witness to be present to give testimony, and two, when we require a witness to come with certain evidence. For the example I'm going to give, it is a car wreck case. It is John Smith versus Jack Jones. We're heading to trial on July 1st, and we want Officer Jones to be present at trial to give testimony. Now, for this, we will simply use what is called a witness subpoena, and I have an example here. Now, this form can be found online through the Georgia Superior Court's website, and you'll see that it says at the top, witness subpoena. We are sending it to Officer John Doe, who lives in Atlanta. We tell Officer Doe to please be present at the Fulton County Courthouse on July 1st at 10 a.m. in courtroom 1B in the case of John Smith versus Jack Jones, and that he will be a witness for the plaintiff. We give a case number and tell him that if he has any questions to please contact our firm and contact me. We give a phone number, and I will sign this subpoena and date it. Now, this sentence here is pretty important. You are required to attend from day to day and from time to time until the matter is disposed of. A subpoena that is issued for July 1st for a trial, if the officer is not going to be able to take the stand until July 2nd, that officer will still be required to remain at the courthouse until he is called and until the parties no longer need that officer. Now, we work with the officers the best that we can to ensure that we're not wasting their time and resources. So we often will arrange our cases to ensure that the officer is there for the shortest amount of time possible. But after we have filled this out, we then will serve it on Officer Doe. And for this example, we're going to be serving it personally to him. We may have a process server go and hand deliver this subpoena to Officer Doe. And we will fill out the return of service. So in this example, John Doe was served on May 23rd at 1 p.m. and it was by delivering it to him in person. I will again sign this and date it and explain that I'm the attorney for the plaintiff. Now, this document will actually be filed with the court and served upon opposing counsel. So both the court and opposing counsel will know that Officer Doe has been subpoenaed to appear at trial. There is the other type of subpoena that we use if we want Officer Doe to be present and to bring certain items with him. So this type of subpoena is a subpoena for the production of evidence, or subpoena duces tecum. A subpoena duces tecum is like a witness subpoena, but there's an added element to bring certain items with. So again, in this example, we're asking Officer Doe to please come to trial on July 1st in courtroom 1B in the Fulton County Courthouse, and in the matter of John Smith versus Jack Jones. But this is different. The following are hereby subpoenaed, or the following documents are required to be brought: the police report, his body camera and dash cam footage, and any photographs that he took of the wreck. If Officer Doe does not have body cam footage, he's not going to be required to bring it. You can't bring something that you don't have. So he'll only be required to bring what he has in those 3 documents that are listed here. So we didn't ask for any results of a blood alcohol test or any recordings of his 911 dispatch. So those items Officer Doe would not be required to bring. It's only what's listed in the subpoena. And again, we're going to say, if you have any questions, please contact us here at Butler Kahn, and I will sign it, date it, and again, this return of service that we've already discussed. And this will be filed again with the court. Now, we use these subpoenas in our cases when we need to go to trial or hearings, depositions, but most of the time for trial, so that we can ensure that somebody will be present. It's important that you have attorneys that know how to use subpoenas, what the jurisdiction of the court will be, which is a whole other video, and how to properly serve subpoenas. Now, we hope that you're never in a car wreck or facing another personal injury matter that requires you to even think about needing a subpoena, but we do hope that if you ever are in a car wreck or if you ever need a representation in a personal injury matter, that you reach out to Butler Kahn. Thank you.